Hey guys, Jeremy here with Simple Little Life, and lately I've been asked by a lot of companies to do video reviews on products that they'd like to send me. And until now I've always just said no. The reason for that is that the products that they've offered are not things that I would go and spend my money on. So I just wouldn't feel right about doing a video review on a product for the sole reason that I got it for free. And so I've turned down a lot of companies over the last 6 months, and I've just said kindly, I appreciate the offer, but no. Now, about a month and a half ago, I was contacted by a company called ZanFlare, and they had asked if they could send me their F1 flashlight to do a review on. Not necessarily do a review, they wanted me to test it out and give them some feedback, let them know my thoughts, but the review itself was never part of the deal, I guess you could say we had. They said if you like it, maybe you could show it on your channel. If not, just let us know what you think about the light, and obviously I like it because I'm making this video. Now, I live in Canada, and it's wintertime right now. By 5 o'clock in the evening, I mean, it's dark here, so in the wintertime especially, a good flashlight is, well, it's a tool that I'm constantly using, even outside of wintertime. In the summertime, 365 days a year, I'm pretty certain you'll find a flashlight on me. I'm just a guy that I've always got a flashlight on, and right now I probably have about 40 different flashlights. I'm a flashlight freak, I guess you could say. I really enjoy flashlights, and I really appreciate the value of a good quality flashlight. Highly useful tool. So let's head inside and I'll show you a little bit about this flashlight. Quick look at what comes in the box. It's actually quite nice packaging. It's a nice, decent box that they come in. Of course, you get your instruction manual, the flashlight itself, and the clip is off when you get it. You can install that or not. A micro USB charging cable, in case you don't have one. A lanyard, this little wrist lanyard. It's detachable, which is actually kind of a nice feature. And then it's got this adjustable, I'm not sure exactly what they call these things, so just you can kind of cinch it up on your wrist or whatever. Comes with extra O-rings for the seals. And then it also comes with this neoprene case. And this was one thing that at first I was kind of like, oh, why did they give you that? But I actually kind of see some value in it if you were, it's got a belt loop on it, so if you wanted to put it on your belt, or if you wanted to clip it to the outside of a pack or something, you could use a small carabiner in there. You could attach it with molly webbing to a molly pack or something like that. But I could see that this would actually be a nice feature if you're hiking with your light. I mean, when I use a light, it's pretty much around the house or around, you know, our homestead here, but actually a nice little touch, and it seems fairly well made and would add a lot of extra protection to the light. So at first I thought it was a bit gimmicky, but the more I think about it, I do think a lot of people could find value in this case, and it's actually pretty cool to have this included. So that's pretty much everything that comes with the light. Okay, so this is the ZanFlare F1 Flashlight. Now, a few things, let's just kind of go around the outside and I'll kind of show you, you know, the gist of it. It's a 5.5 inches long, and it's about 1 inch in diameter. Cree LED, aluminum body, it's got a removable clip. Also has a little loop for the lanyard hole. One nice touch about the lanyard hole is that you see the machine, that little relief right there. And what that allows you to do is if you do have the lanyard installed on it, the one that comes with it, there's clearance there so that this will still stand on end, which is just a nice feature, a nice touch. I mean, I don't know, it just kind of shows you the way a company approaches their build when you see nice details like that. It really says a lot about how they looked at all the little tiny things and give you the slightest little bit extra just to make their product better. Even if it's a feature that, you know, a lot of people might not use, it is there and it was thought about. So that says something about this light to you. Another thing is the knurling on the handle. Now, most knurling is cross-hatched. This one you'll notice is helical. Kind of interesting. It's not a I don't know, I just never noticed it before. I've never seen other flashlights with this. It feels really good in the hand, and it does have good grip as well. Also, on the back end of the light here, they've put in a little spike to act as a window breaker, I suppose. I'm not entirely sure how well that would work, but it's there. Now, the main on-off button is on the back of the light, and then your output selector button is this one right here. At first I thought these were redundant switches, you could turn it on off here or there, but no, this one will adjust your different power output settings, and this is the on off button. Another feature that I like about this light, and this was one that I thought I really wouldn't like, was that this is actually USB rechargeable. If I pull this ring down, it reveals the USB charging port there, that's the micro USB. And I always buy my lights based on them either being a AA or a AAA or some very commonly available batteries. Now this one runs either 2 CR123 batteries or one 18650. Those aren't the most common batteries. However, if you use rechargeable versions, you can just charge it up with this USB port. Now my Canon GX7 Mark II camera, my GoPro, some of the lights I have for my GoPro, some power banks that I have, all use this exact same USB. I mean, this is one of the more common USB ports available now in today's electronics, so it's actually a really handy option. You can just be driving down the road, charge this up. I've always got these chargers in all my vehicles. At home you can charge it up, so I think that was actually a really nice touch. And again, you don't have to use rechargeable batteries in this light. You can buy like CR123s and just use disposable batteries, but rechargeable batteries and that thing right there, I think that's a really nice little option. And again, you just pull it up like that and give it a twist, and that will seal it. And it is O-ring protected in there. So we've got the O-rings there and an O-ring there. It kind of snugs up to. And when it's pulled in like that and snapped, this thing actually has an IXP8 waterproof rating. So that means it's submersible to up to 2 meters and it will stay waterproof. So that's pretty decent actually for a flashlight. Impact rating of 1.5 meters on this. And let's go through some of the features now, and also give you some of the life expectancy of the battery based on the different brightness modes. So to turn the flashlight on again, hit this button at the end, and right away you'll notice it's incredibly dim. This is a 1 lumen beam, and this is called the moonlight setting, and I actually think that's a really good idea. There are times when you just need the slightest little bit of light, say if you're reading a map in your vehicle. I mean, really, who reads maps in vehicles anymore? But there are times, and I use this one quite often, where I don't need a lot of light, just a little tiny bit to help me see just that extra little touch. I think that's actually a really good feature to put on a light. And when you're using it in this mode, you'll get 550 hours of runtime. And again, our output selector switch right here, press that, we go to the low setting, which is a 50 lumens. This is pretty good for seeing anything at your feet, you know, checking under the couch, or if you're working on your vehicle. Really good output setting. This is what I would consider adequate for most of my flashlights, and for most of the things that I need a flashlight for. 50 lumens is pretty good. And this has a 22-hour runtime at this setting. Next we go to the medium mode, and that is 290 lumens. That's getting pretty decent. That's getting to be fairly bright, where you can see, you know, you light up a pathway in front of you, and not a setting that I would use a lot. Like I said, the 50 lumens is pretty much where I leave this set. And then beyond that we can go to the high, and that will give us 590 lumens, and that will give you, oh, I missed the battery life. So on the 290 lumens, the mid, you will get 6 hours of battery life, and when you have it set to high, which is the 590 lumens, you get 2 hours and 30 minutes of battery life. And again, we just knocked it back down to moonlight. And there is one more output setting, and to access that, you'll press this button 2 times, and that will take you to the flare version. The flare is 1240 lumens, and you will get about 30 seconds of runtime before your battery is drained. So if we simply press this 2 times really quickly, now we've got 1240 lumens. This sucker is bright, and there's actually a lot of heat that comes off of it at this setting. Hit it one more time and it'll go back to whatever the power output setting that it was in. You'll notice that they have this warning on here, hot. And at first I didn't really believe it, but when you put it to the flare mode and you put your hand near it, it actually gets really quite warm. So I was actually quite surprised about that. And again, 1240 lumens, that's, I mean, I can check cattle and see what's going on out in the field at that. Not something I use all the time, and not something that you need to run for a long time, so it's actually kind of a handy feature. I do use that one a fair bit. It's actually surprising me. And then those are the basic steady power modes. Now we can access the strobe functions, and there's 2 strobe functions on this light. The first one is your basic flash on off, and the second strobe function is actually an SOS. So if we hold our power output button down for a few seconds, it'll switch to the strobe mode. And here's just the strobe. Now you can adjust the power output of the strobe, but the first version here is just the strobe on off, you know, give somebody a seizure type of thing. The next one, if we hold this button down one more time, just press it, this will actually flash SOS in Morse code. I think that's actually a really cool little feature because, you know, if you're stranded in the woods, so you're skiing and you went off the trail or something like that, and you're waiting to be rescued, people are looking for you, you can set this flashlight up and it will keep signaling SOS for you while you could be building a signal fire or shelter or coming up with some other means to effect rescue. So I actually think that's a pretty cool little feature for a flashlight. And then to get back to the steady output mode, just hold this button down again. Alright guys, so there's just a quick look at some of the features and a general overview of the ZanFlare F1 Flashlight. Now in the last month and a half, I've been using this light pretty much exclusively, and I've been quite hard on it. Regular viewers of my channel know that I'm a hands-on guy. I build things, I use my hands, and I'm rough on things. I'm not a guy that just buys stuff and then kind of, you know, holds it and turns it on, and I actually use the things that I buy, and this is actually proven to be a tool that I feel I can rely on, and I'm really quite impressed with it. The price point on these is $39.99 US, and right now it's being sold on gearbest.com, and ZanFlare has actually added a coupon code for the viewers of this channel. So if you're thinking about getting one of these, you can enter the coupon code SIMPLE when you check out, and that will give you 10% off this flashlight. Thank you to ZanFlare for that coupon code. Thank you to ZanFlare for sending me the light. And if you're in the market for a decent flashlight, you know, somebody that is, this is just another option to consider. I'm really quite impressed with it, and it actually has a high recommendation from myself. Hopefully you find this useful, guys, and thanks for watching the video. Cheers.